Welcome back to Stars Unmasked, where we peel back the layers on the biggest moments in Hollywood and beyond. Today, we step away from the red carpets of awards season and into a different kind of red, the signature Valentino red, because the fashion world just said goodbye to one of its last true emperors. On January 19th, 2026, Valentino Garavani passed away peacefully at his home in Rome at the age of 93. The man who turned a simple color into a global symbol of elegance, power, and timeless glamour, left behind a legacy that dressed first ladies, queens, movie stars, and generations of icons. And on January 23rd, just 4 days later, the fashion capital of the world came together to lay him to rest in a ceremony that felt both intimate and monumental. The funeral took place at the Basilica di Santa Maria degli Angeli e dei Martiri, a stunning 16th century church built inside the ruins of ancient Roman baths. Thousands of people gathered outside, some holding single red roses, others simply standing in silence as the coffin was carried in. Inside, the atmosphere was solemn yet undeniably glamorous.
Per favore, ragazzi, per favore. Attenzione. Più davanti, sì. Da? Vabbè, meglio, Più davanti. Come stai?
Black couture filled the pews, but subtle touches of Valentino red, a pocket square here, a scarf there, paid quiet homage to the designer's most famous signature. Among the mourners were names that instantly tell you how deeply Valentino's influence reached into Hollywood and global celebrity culture. Anne Hathaway arrived looking visibly moved, holding hands with her husband Adam Schulman. She wore a sleek black coat and kept her head bowed during much of the service. Photos captured her wiping away tears as she entered the basilica, a moment that reminded everyone just how personal Valentino's designs were to the stars who wore them. Donatella Versace was there, elegant in black, paying respects to a fellow titan of Italian fashion. Anna Wintour, the legendary editor-in-chief of Vogue, sat quietly near the front, her presence alone speaking volumes about Valentino's place at the very top of the industry for over 6 decades. Tom Ford attended, as did Elizabeth Hurley with her son Damien, Olivia Palermo, and a host of other designers, editors, and longtime clients. The mayor of Rome spoke during the service, calling Valentino a son of this city who embodied its beauty, its history, and its eternal elegance. Another speaker described him as the most beautiful flower in the garden of fashion, a line that brought visible emotion to many in the room. What made Valentino Garavani so special wasn't just the clothes, it was the way he made the women who wore them feel invincible. He launched his maison in 1960 with a small atelier in Rome, but by the late 1960s he was dressing Jackie Kennedy Onassis, the former First Lady who famously wore his designs during her time as a style icon. Elizabeth Taylor, Audrey Hepburn, Sophia Loren, and later Julia Roberts, Gwyneth Paltrow, Nicole Kidman, Lady Gaga, Anne Hathaway herself, all became part of what people called the Valentino woman. His signature? That vivid Valentino red, a deep, powerful shade he called Valentino red, so distinctive it was trademarked. He once said, "Red is the color of life, of passion, of courage." And on the red carpet, that color became synonymous with confidence. Think of Julia Roberts in that iconic off-the-shoulder red gown at the 2001 Oscars, or Anne Hathaway channeling old Hollywood glamour in his designs for red carpet events. The funeral procession itself was a moment of quiet theater. The coffin, draped in red and white flowers, was carried through the basilica as soft organ music filled the space. Outside, crowds applauded as the hearse departed, a final standing ovation for a man who spent his life making women feel like queens. In the days since his passing, tributes have poured in from every corner of the world. Giorgio Armani called him a dear friend and a giant of Italian fashion. Ralph Lauren remembered him as a true gentleman of style. Even younger designers posted black and red images on Instagram with simple captions, "Thank you, Maestro." Valentino retired from his namesake house in 2008, but he never really left the spotlight. He continued to live in Rome, surrounded by his beloved pugs, hosting intimate dinners and staying close to the industry he helped shape. His death feels like the closing of a chapter, the last direct link to the golden age of haute couture, when fashion houses were run by the designers themselves, not corporations. But his influence isn't going anywhere. Every time a celebrity steps onto a red carpet in a bold red gown, every time someone chooses elegance over trend, that's Valentino. He taught the world that true glamour is timeless, and that red is always a power move. So today, as we unmask this moment, we're not just remembering a funeral, we're remembering a man who dressed dreams, who made ordinary women feel extraordinary, and who gave Hollywood some of its most unforgettable nights. What do you think? Is Valentino's legacy the greatest in modern fashion? Which of his iconic looks is your favorite? Drop it in the comments below. If this tribute moved you, give it a like, share it with someone who loves fashion, and subscribe so you never miss the next big unmasking. Hollywood, Nollywood, or anywhere in between, stars unmasked. Sometimes we honor the legends. Until next time.